Hi, I'm Jessica from Jessica Wanders, and I've been out in the garden doing, doing some garden work. I got a little bit of sun because it suddenly got really super hot out. Like super hot. This morning was 5 degrees. Now it's 25 degrees, but that's what happens here. So I've been trying to get stuff into the garden. A few things, it's still too cold at night for it to go in. Yeah, boy, I got sun today. So some things are still too cold at night to go into the garden. But yeah, I'm super excited to bring a garden update because things are starting to grow and it's starting to really warm up, even though we've had a really cold, it's been cold really late into the spring this year. If you want to see the whole How Much Food Can I Grow series, I will leave a link right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos from me. Let's see how the garden is doing.
Okay, you guys, this is the sad state of my plants. We had some watering problems and some light problems. I could easily run to the garden supply store and buy my plants, but I thought I'd give these tomatoes another chance at life. And so I'm gonna repot them. And I've got some potting mix. You can use any potting mix. Because it's been so cold here, I have a little bit of extra time to get these into the ground. So I'll repot them for probably another week, maybe a week and a half before I set them out. That'll put them like a week late, and everything seems to be a week late around here. So I want to give them another chance. They're really, this one's really, that one in there is really suffering. So they had a little disaster. It was pretty bad. And I've got a whole other flat of peppers and tomatoes as well.
I am gonna get the lanky, ridiculous cherry tomatoes. One of them that I'm not sure what kind because I missed labeling it. So we're gonna get the cherry tomatoes out first, and I'm gonna take the best ones. It's been my experience that plants want to grow. So if you give them a minimal amount of attention, they want to grow. These plants are really suffering at the moment. I feel pretty bad. If I'm careful, they should recover. Because they're in such rough shape, I'm gonna plant as many as I can and hope some make it. Am I making a mess in my kitchen? Yes. That's what's happening. Like cooking, I am no expert on gardening. I just want to see how much food I can grow. I'm sure there are many people on this channel that are much better gardeners than me, but you know, let's just keep it real. I often poorly water my seedlings and end up with lanky seedlings. That happens to me. I have a busy other life. But there's one sun gold. We'll see if it perks up a little bit. It doesn't look too bad once it's out of the messy spot it was in. All right, this second sun gold cherry tomato looks a little way sturdier than the first one. There we go. Put that one away. What a mess I'm making. You know, one day I would love to have like a potting shed somewhere so I didn't have to make a huge mess in my kitchen, but that's future Jessica. Whew. They are so lanky, but we're gonna fix them up. We had 4 hanging baskets from a party we had back in April that I've been keeping alive until it was warm enough to set them out. So I'm gonna get them out in the garden today just to beautify things. Maybe turn around the other way. This is our little grow bag, has some stuff growing in it. Those are spinaches and radishes, turnips. Over here in this bed, we've got radishes
And turnips and some spinach as well coming up. Not a ton. I might replant it. And then the potatoes that I put in are doing okay. That one's doing better. And none of the garlics came up. Okay, these are those broad beans that I planted, and then these are all the potatoes. Some are doing better than other ones, but they'll make it up. You can see when they start to break through. And those ones are just in the shade. So if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been out camping and doing all kinds of stuff lately. I haven't been on top of things. But definitely we're coming up on May long weekend. It is time to get the rest of the garden in. And this whole bed needs to be weeded. I always have rogue raspberries growing because on the other side of this fence there's a lot of raspberries. So they sneak their way into the garden. There's a couple raspberry sprout ups in here. I'll probably replant some more peas in this bed and weed the garlic. Just some onions from last year, but all these spinach look like they're coming up pretty well. Not too bad. Almost ready. Like that's almost a baby spinach. This is Mr. Wander's favorite, the tiny baby spinaches. Yeah, I actually could almost harvest a few baby spinach. That's great. Here are my garlic chives. Oh, Mr. Wander's put him in here. We put Nemo in here because he looks like he's in an anemone. He's in an anemone. And oh my goodness, there's Nemo. Garlic chives just about ready to flower. And the ones that I planted this year are doing fine too. And the onions in the back are doing okay. I should probably get out and water them today. We had a lot of rain, but it's starting to dry up. The raspberries desperately need to get weeded, but we've been busy folks. My grapes. You know there's a proper way to prune grapes? I've been told a few times, but I'm not good about it. So there haven't been any bees, so my cherry trees don't have any cherries on them, and this year it was because it was too cold for bees. So I don't know how we're gonna do. I haven't seen a bee out all day. Being out here kind of puttering around, still no bees. Lots of flowers, no bees. My tarragon plant overwintered and it's coming up nicely. So that's kind of cool. It smells really good. Gotta have a tarragon-y. Nom nom. The other thing that overwintered surprisingly, this kale plant, I can't even believe. I really chopped it down, as you can see here. They make huge stalks and it's coming up again. So that's exciting. We could do some kale salads maybe. Oh, that's pretty good. Yummy. Look at my house that's really taken off too. I heard you could eat these. These are a little past that point, but has anybody else eaten their hostas when they're first coming up? That's not a thing I've ever done. I guess I have some little ones in there. but I never heard of that before, and I'm just seeing it this year for the first time. I mean, we just love the flowers and the plants, but have you tried eating them? Is that a thing? I don't know. The other cool thing that happened was that this asparagus plant survived. I had a new fence put in a couple years ago, and I thought that all the asparagus that I had planted in this area had died. And it's not a great place for them anymore because it doesn't get as much sun as it used to. But then these came up this year, and I really want them to survive and really develop a good root system. So I'm not even gonna pick them or eat them or anything. I'm just gonna let them go flowery and leaf out and just kind of get stronger this year. Yeah, it made these two heads were really big and beautiful this year, and a huge surprise to me. So next year, hopefully more asparagus. We just didn't have any bees around when our cherries were flowering. There's still a few flowers left on the tree, but I mean, there's still no bees. Still no bees coming. I don't hear any bees. I think I've seen maybe half a dozen bees total this year. But anyway, hardly any of them are making actual cherries. On the ends, maybe this one, maybe. We're not gonna get any cherries. It seems like every year there's like a new problem, like between hard frosts and heat waves. Yeah, and now it was really cold, so it was too cold for bees. I think I just saw one. One bee does not make a tree of cherries though. And they weren't out when the plum tree had flowers either. Oh, that looks dead. That's just a huge dead branch that has to come off. Well then, I didn't realize that whole branch was dead. Yeah, we need to prune this guy. I mean, he's barely alive, this plum tree. I should plant another one. He's been hanging on though. But look, he's clearly done. But these ones are really old. That's why I planted this little pear tree, and then I have another little peach tree coming as well. And I like to leave kind of mature trees in the yard. The birds like it. But I think there's a whole lot of dead stuff that could come off of this tree, 100%. Like that whole branch. Yep. It's easier to see when the leaves are out. I saw a bee. They do like this flowering shrub, bush, tree quite a bit. I can hear them over here. So we didn't get cherries, but we'll probably get apples because this apple tree has had a beautiful showing. Oh, there's the bees. Starlings. And it's had just amazing flowers. So, looking forward to lots of apple jelly, and I'll need lots of apple recipes this year if everything goes well. Hi. The lilacs are all out and beautiful. I was watching one video this morning where they were making lilac syrup. I feel like that's a thing I could do. I have a ton of lilacs. I have this one and another big bush. They're so pretty. It's not really in the sun right now, but oh, I need to cut the flowers back of that rhubarb. You know, I guess what I'm doing is showing how much food you can grow when you don't even really try too hard. That's my series. These sprouted fast, like crazy. Just gonna get in here and cut off these sprouts. That is not a thing that I want in here. Told you, not on the ball this year. These off. So I need to get these off of here. Oh, that went the wrong way. Oh, come here. Yeah, I don't want these flowers and my rhubarb. I am gonna get the rest of all these. They look a little better. There we go. I did transplant this rainbow shard, and it overwintered from last year. It was growing quite a bit, and then it got hit with frost again. Oh, I see that the crows are burying peanuts here. So I'm hoping it survives now, because it was a real trooper. So I'll plant that somewhere else. But I'm pulling out all these other weeds, and I'm noticing that right away I've got dill coming up in all kinds of spots. So I'll probably leave it for now and then pick some later that I want to grow. There's some, it's kind of everywhere in here. So that's cool. I always never have to plant dill. I never have to plant dill because it always pops up somewhere in the garden. I think there are new house sparrows making houses in the birdhouse again this year. That's exciting. I like having them, but they're always just house sparrows. Quite loud. They get angry when I'm out in the garden, but then they come back. So this is fun. I'm weeding this bed, which didn't have anything growing in it just yet. And I'm finding, I think, this mustard green that I planted last year, but actually didn't get much of a harvest out of it because it kind of got crowded over with other plants. And look, there's a bunch of these here. So I think I'm gonna let them grow in this little area and see if we can't get some mustard greens. My plan was to kind of grow mustard seed so that I could make my own mustard, but obviously maybe they went to seed, or these are plants that survived. So I'm super excited to see them here, and I can try again this year. You can't see them, but I planted this whole bed of carrots. Pretty soon they'll be up. I had a lot of extra green onions. I bought about twice as many as I need, so I've just been shoving them in everywhere. There will be a lot of green onion recipes, I think. And I did plant a bunch of basil, some cilantro, other things in this bed, but nothing has come up just yet because I was really late getting it in. But I did buy some just leaf lettuce that I'm gonna put in this section. I think that this is just a rogue turnip seed it ended up over here. So we're supposed to have lettuce over here. So I'm gonna plant these two buttercrunch and some of these ruby lettuce in this section here, and we'll see what comes up. I'm just going to plant more radishes in the areas of the garden where I have radishes planted already, this and the 10 by 10 foot box. And then I'm also going to plant some more spinach where they didn't come up. You do want more radishes to fill in as you harvest radishes. They only take about a month to grow. So if you just keep planting them every couple of weeks, you have endless radishes. I did such a poor job getting things started this year, but I do have a whole bunch of peppers. I contemplated going out and buying everything from the plant store and spending a whole lot of money, but I think that I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna plant what I can. I've got some sad looking tomatoes. I've got some better looking cherry tomatoes that I can put in. I did pick up a couple of things. I wanted to try this Anaheim pepper that you guys were talking about. And so I picked this up from the plant store, and also some sweet potato yams because I didn't start any this year. These are my Romas that I did transplant, and I picked up a couple more at the store just to fill in because I don't have enough that look really good. A couple of super fantastic and a couple of Romas just to make up the difference. These are my Romas. They look sad, but we're gonna trust that they're gonna recover and do well. So I did go to Art Nap, but a lot of these things aren't. They're sort of things we have in stock for multiple years. We needed another big bag of bone meal, and we needed vegetable. Oh, that's just fertilizer. Geez, fertilizer has gotten so expensive. Mr. Wanders wanted to pick up a big bag because he's afraid it's going to get really pricey. But the vegetables that I got to plant, $5.99 plus all. Oh, that was the one pepper was $5.99, and then all the other tomatoes were super on sale. So I got a couple of Romas to make up my numbers from the ones that I planted, and like I said, the super fantastic. And then yeah, so anyways, I got a total of 8, and that cost $31.92. So I spent $37.91 on some fill-in plants, and then we got a bunch of this fertilizer. We've actually already put fertilizer in all the beds, so we're not might throw some bone meal in as we plant the peppers and the tomatoes. Yeah, I should probably add the bone meal because we are definitely going to be using the bone meal this year. Well, heck, I may as well add the $39.99. We'll probably use fertilizer at some point for the rest of the year. So that brings it up to like $74.98. But this other thing, this Weed Dragon torch kit, Mr. Wanders bought that. You hook it up to a propane tank, and then you light your weeds on fire in your driveway. And he is so frustrated. He's so frustrated with the weeds in the driveway that he wanted to buy that, and that doesn't have anything to do with the garden, so I'm not taking on that cost in my tally. So I was hoping to have some stuff in by now, but it's been so cold. It was literally 4 degrees this morning when I got up and brought the plants out, and that's just too cold, I think, for tomatoes still. They do have to go in. I have about a week left before we go camping again, and everything has to be in the ground before we leave, because we need to be able to water everything while we're gone. So I've got a little more time, like a week left before I have to get them in. So that's it for this week of how much food can I grow. I'm very excited to make, I think, a salad. I've got kale, mustard greens, and a little bit of baby spinach. Well, might be the first meal that I have out of the garden. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. You can click my face to subscribe to see more videos from me. You can always become a member to support my channel and get a couple of little perks. I will leave links to the entire How Much Food Can I Grow series. Maybe you guys are keeping track so we can compare. We're well on the way. Yay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here.